connect this beautiful Wednesday. I hope you all have been having an amazing day so far. So first thing I want to do is go over our mission statement. We always want to start off powerfully, and this is who we are and what we are all about, and we want to be able to share that with you all every single time. So our mission here at Rain is to help women elevate by owning our crown in identity, creativity, and power to build fulfilling lifestyles through passions. And we do that through through our mind, body, and soul. And we really focus on helping the woman as a whole woman. And I believe that's what this topic for tonight is really going to be about, really serving the whole you and who you truly are. And that is including mind, body, and soul for sure. Welcome. My name is Sarah. I have been a queen leader and a part of this beautiful sisterhood for 2.5 years now. And it's just been such an incredible journey. As you can see there on the bottom picture, ladies, I first started to serve myself when I jumped on my nutrition plan. And through loving myself and really taking care of my temple, my physical body first, I was able to lose 22 pounds in 90 days, ladies. And that was just the beginning of my journey. And really, like I said, really figuring out who I was and loving me. And that really opened the door for me to be able to not only help other women see who they are and to get the results physically, but also emotionally and with their mind, their souls, everything. And that's why I continue to do this. That's my incredible mom right there in that picture. She is, absolutely my queen. And though she's not here with me anymore on this earth, I know that I have the biggest angel in heaven watching over me and my sisters every single day. So don't, I always tell people, don't mess with me because I got God, I got the Holy Spirit, and I got my mama up there. But it's just an incredible journey. And the topic that we're going to be discussing tonight is all about singleness. But more than singleness, because I know we have some ladies on here who are married, who are in long-term relationships, whatever it may be, it's really about who you are as a single person and how you were created. And so don't check out, you better not log off if you're married on here. It's really about who you are. And we really want to be able to cater to you in all those different ways. And for me, my singleness journey has been long, but it's been beautiful as well. And for me, it's also incorporated me being celibate. I'm 28 years old and I've been celibate for 5 years, y'all. 5 whole years, 5 long years. And I always say like 3 years, but no, it's been 5 years. It was 5 years in June. And that's been a part of my singleness journey and my journey as an adult and as me being my whole self. And I chose to do so because I knew that I had to strip away a lot of things, especially when it came to physical relationships and men, for me to grow as, my own self and to grow as a woman of faith, a woman of God, everything. And so that's just a little piece of me and who I am, but you're going to hear so many incredible stories. You're going to hear from these incredible women and my sisters of Rain. And with that, with us sharing our pieces of ourselves with you, we really want to cover each and every single one of us, but also you in our pledge and commitment statement. And what this statement really is, it's like a safety net. We really want to have that so that you know that it's a safe space for you to listen to the stories, but for us to be able to share. And so stay muted, but I'm going to go ahead and read the pledge and commitment statement, and where you see the blank line, you're going to powerfully say your name muted. All right. So as a woman of Rain, I, Sarah, pledge to strive for excellence in my pursuit to be a strong and loving woman. I will fight to be better in all aspects of my life with help and support from the Rain family. I will be responsible to the tasks that I commit to within Rain and let my integrity show through my actions. I understand that change starts from within. I commit to the proper nutrition and fitness for the health and wellness of my body. And as I look in the mirror to humble myself, I will become a better support to others and always have their best interest at heart. I commit to the confidentiality of Rain and understand that the information I learned from my involvement will stay within our group. I will walk in the name to the best of my ability. If you agree, let me see those pinkies, our little pinky promise. Yay. All right, ladies, we're going to get this started. And I have the absolute pleasure of bringing up this next incredible woman. She's honestly the reason we're all here today. It was because of her, yes. It was because of her commitment to her self-love journey, but also knowing that she had a purpose that was bigger than just herself, that this was all created. So Rain was created out of her vision and her purpose, and we're so grateful. But we want to continue to grow. But I just want to bring up this incredible lady. So sit up, get ready. All right, let's get it, Miss Amanda Marshall.
Hey, thank you so much, Sarah. Just watching you slay that intro, I think for the first time on a Queen Connect, was an absolute honor. You know, one thing that I know is that when a queen knows who she is, she's not afraid to allow another queen to know who she is. And that's what Reign's all about. It's about how high can we go to the point to where no one knows who the leader is unless it's announced. So I appreciate that powerful introduction. I so honor you and love you, cherish you, and just really like grateful for the strength that you brought to within Reign, especially at such a dark, weak time in your life. You know, losing your mom can be very hard. And I just want to take a moment to really acknowledge you, Sarah, for who you are, for the value that you add to our life as a whole. But I think that sometimes you don't realize how much value you add just by being you, because it's just what you bring every time. And so I really want to honor you for that, and just thank you for having the Holy Spirit down on the inside of you. When I saw you, you know, pray in those tongues, girl, I was like, we here with it. I'm with you, and you need people that can really call down on the Spirit in that way. So love you so much, girl. All right, we're going to jump into this topic. What's up, ladies? Welcome. For those that don't know me, my name is Amanda Marshall. I'm not going to talk too much about me because I really want to jump into this topic tonight. But, you know, really when God gives you a vision, he will give you everything else you need to be able to allow that vision to come alive. Right. So for me, it really started with me loving myself. I started doing women's empowerment many, many years ago. About 10 years ago, 2009 was actually the first time I really jumped into women's empowerment, and it just grew from there. And I can tell you that every season and every organization that I've been a part of has grown with my personal growth. And that's the reason why we hold so dearly to knowing who we are, choosing who we are, and allowing ourselves to grow and enjoying the journey. Sometimes we can look so far ahead of where we have to go that we feel overwhelmed, but there's a beauty in really fully accepting you right where you are, because you're going to be able to impact those that you're supposed to right now. Maybe the next level of you can't impact the ones that you can impact right now. And I know that kind of sounds like, wait, what? But like, there's many times that I'm like, man, I don't think the way I used to. And sometimes I have to like bring myself not down, but like remind myself of where I came from. And that's relatability is impact. And so there's just power in where you are. I've learned that in my journey, and I've learned to also accept that. And the reason why I'm speaking from this place is because there was a point in time where I was so hard on myself. I just felt like I didn't have it together, and that I needed to be better, and that I needed to know all the answers, and that if somebody came to me for something, I needed to know. And that season of my life didn't serve me, because as much as I was talking about women's empowerment and growth and self-love, the truth was that I didn't really truly accept myself fully to where I wasn't able to be vulnerable to relate with people, because I was still hiding behind the masks of what I thought I needed to be. And so there's just the power in fully embracing yourself. Gratefully, along this walk of becoming the better version of myself, choosing to let go of the masks and really just remove them, I was able to really align myself with my husband. He's absolutely incredible. I can tell you, I brag on him a lot, but it's really bragging on me, right? So like we get to show ourselves love and say, yo, I caught that. I'm grateful that I became the woman to find that man. And it was really in my single journey that I really discovered really truly what I wanted. And not from a point of like a checklist, but like a point of getting to know myself so well that I started to understand the things that I needed. And when it was an insecurity that was screaming at me in past relationships, or if it was my intuition. And we're going to talk more about that. Really getting to know yourself is so vital for the person that you end up marrying. And some of you being married, trust me, we're going to talk about what marriage really means as well. Me choosing to love myself, another layer of myself discovering. I started to take care of my body, getting in partnership with everything that I am, been able to drop 23 pounds, put on 27 pounds of healthy weight. And really at the end of the day, that just means that I chose myself even deeper on another level. Definitely love the physical results, don't get me wrong, but it's so much more than that. And we all get to know that we absolutely add value, but beyond just our physical, right? So, so important. And so I'm really excited because singleness is a weird journey, all right? Because you want your husband. Let's just keep it 1,000. Even if you're not single and you're in a relationship, but you're not married, there's this place that you're in that's different, right? And so for me, I called it the in-between season. This is not what life is going to look like forever, because I do desire to be a wife. And I know that if God put that desire in my heart and I'm aligning everything with his will, with my desires with his will, it will happen, right? That's how you know you'll get everything that is called for you, is when you align your desires with his will, ask for him to help you in the clarity of that. Well, in the in-between season, I was really questioning if I was supposed to be a wife. Is this really a desire that God gave me, or is this a desire that I made up? And so in my single journey, I had to really start to understand where this desire was coming from. And so for me, it really started, I was in a relationship at the time, and I felt unaligned. Have you ever just had this unsettling, unpeaceful state where you can't sleep at night? You don't really have any issues. I'm talking to the women who may be in a relationship right now, right? You're in a relationship, you're not really satisfied, but you're kind of satisfied. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's just kind of good. I found myself in that place. And my human instinct, my fleshly instinct was like, something's wrong and I need to find what's wrong. There was this defense mechanism, if you want to call it that, from when I was just a child, that I had to make a situation bad for me to end it. Like I had to find a problem in order to close the door. And I just pray that I give you the hope tonight to know that you don't have to have a problem or a definition of why it's not right for you to choose that it's not right for you. One thing that I learned in that previous relationship is that there wasn't anything wrong. It was just not right for me. It didn't mean that he was not good enough or not better than, but he just didn't have what I needed in my husband. And I got to understand that. First, I went through insecurities, right? Like, I'm so insecure. I'm like looking at everything he's doing. I'm obsessed with finding something wrong. Is he cheating on me? Why do I have this feeling? I feel disconnected. And in that, I put off the energy of being disconnected. So it created that. Like, our living situation was not solid. I'm just keeping it real, right? So I would be like in bed and just my back turned. And I'm mad at him, but he didn't do anything. Like, I'm just mad at him for no reason. And then it finally got to a point where I was like, maybe I need to separate because we're not married. We shouldn't be in the same bed. So I'm going to go to the other room. So I ended up moving all my stuff to the other room, and we were like roommates, right? And it really was that. Like, we didn't really have affection or much, you know. It was just he did his thing and I did my thing, both of us working full-time from home, but just not aligned. And it just continued. As I continued to listen to myself and listen to God, I got this message in prayer and meditation that I needed to move out, that I needed to do it God's way, because something wasn't settled down on the inside of me, because I wasn't living aligned with what he had for me. In this, I definitely had a moment of, I don't want to force him into marriage, because that's what my human flesh was saying, that we weren't married. It was all because we weren't married. Maybe if we were married, it would be better. So I move out, I get my own place. Shortly after, I decide to go and move out, we shortly realized that we didn't need to be together. So we were super aligned in breaking up, right? So we broke up, and here starts my true single journey. I started to uncover things, and to be really honest with you, sis, I thought he was the problem. I thought he wasn't giving me the affection I needed. He wasn't giving me enough likes on my picture. Whatever your thing is your thing. For me, I'm like, you ain't paying attention to me. Paying attention to me, I know you saw my picture today. You liked all those other girls' pictures. How come you didn't like my picture? I got 18,000 likes, but I know you weren't one of them, right? I was crazy. I don't know who else is crazy. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. I was crazy, all right? I was like tripping on here. So as I really started to uncover these things and like, what is really going on with Amanda? I learned that I was seeking external validation from a man. I was seeking this space of being deemed worthy enough to be a wife, and also being deemed worthy enough of his time, attention, affection. I wanted him to just be all about me. But then I quickly reminded myself that I had somebody at one point, another ex, that was all about me. And I wasn't happy then either. So I really started to like dig deeper. What's going on with me? What do I need in this single season, right? And God just started peeling off the layers. You need, sis, to know that you're good without the man's validation. You need to know that you're somebody who's worthy, not because of the title of wife, but because you are, because of Christ. And that's really what God started telling me. And I started really looking over my life and realizing from when I was a child, sexual things were introduced to me. I was molested when I was really young, right? I also had a very incredible, awesome dad, but he was absent a majority of my upbringing, right? And those two things are a really, really great mix and formula for seeking attention in all the wrong places. And that's exactly what I jumped to. I lost my virginity when I was like 13. I just started to live the life, right? Before that, I had boyfriends. I loved kissing. I loved doing things that were not appropriate for a young little girl. But I didn't even know it at the time, but I was just constantly seeking this validation. I thought in my mind that I was worthy if I had attention from a man, and it started from when I was a child and somebody touched me inappropriately. All of this did not, by the way, really hit me until I was in that single journey right before I met my husband. So this whole time, even in all of this woman's empowerment of getting to know myself, I didn't realize what the root, like, sis, you got to uncover the root. It's not just about knowing that that man isn't giving you the attention. It's finding out why. What's the little girl down on the inside of you saying? Why are you seeking something in your single journey? If you can't be satisfied alone, if you're not getting to know yourself, if you're not falling in love with yourself, then why should anybody else? For me, God was saying that he needed to be the man in my life for once, because I believed and I said he was first, but he really wasn't. What does it mean to truly seek the kingdom and everything else will be added? I learned that in my single journey. I learned that I got to put God first. I learned how to be validated through him. And sometimes people don't see your worth because God is protecting you. Just imagine if all of the men that you wanted to see you as worthy did. I'm grateful they didn't. I'm grateful that they didn't put a ring on this finger. Some of them tried, and then I realized, right, I was a runaway engagement girl. I got engaged, and I was like, not it. Nah, bruh. Okay, you said you would marry me. I'm good now. I'm good. No judgment if the exes are watching. All love. I pray that you're doing well. But I just grateful I didn't marry you, okay? Because it is not who God had for me. Izzy, Lawrence, Jade Marshall was the only man that I was supposed to be with. And I didn't realize that until, of course, I went through this single journey and I gave up the desire to even want to be a wife. I didn't realize that this was actually a curse. God was saying, Amanda, I need you to know you're worthy without the title. Amanda, I need you to know that you're good despite another man. Woman, even the validation of women's empowerment and people and sisters saying that you're adding value. External validation will always leave you broken. So your single journey has such a powerful, powerful chapter in your life for elevation and who you're becoming. So if you're single right now, sis, take full advantage. Do everything you want to do. Run to the store when you want to run to the store freely. I know some of y'all got kids. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? When you have a husband, it's not that quick either. You know, he puts on his shoes a little bit slower. Just kidding. No, I'm kidding, but I'm also serious. There's something about a focus and an ambition that you have as a single woman that you will not have when you're married. Rightfully so. Would I give up my marriage? Absolutely not. It's the best thing that ever happened to me, but there's a different energy inside of my focus. I can't just be doing what I want to when I want to. I can't be up on my phone all day. I can't be sitting and responding to people. People like, girl, you ain't responding. I'm sorry, my husband's more important. I prayed for this. I get to invest time and attention here. And my husband wants my time and attention. He loves to cuddle like me. He's not telling me I'm hot and I need to move over like the exes did, making me feel like I was insecure. How are people making you feel insecure because they're just not the right one for you? Some of us are just trying to settle because we're afraid to be lonely. But let me tell you something right now. If you're not faithful inside of your single journey, your husband's out there. And if you're allowing randoms to occupy the space where you're supposed to be healing, I don't know, sis, if you're going to find the husband that you really want. Because your husband deserves for you to take the time to get to know yourself. Your future husband, whether you know him or not, deserves for you to honor your body today, despite if you know him. Like, why allow more randoms to be literally inside of you? I know that this is like, oh, too graphic. Like, no, but you're allowing him and everything he's been through and all the people he's been through inside of your precious body. You know, STDs are at an all-time rise. And if we don't actually realize that the things that we're doing today won't impact tomorrow, you're tripping and you're lying to yourself. Everything you do will impact tomorrow. The time that you spend with yourself matters. And I also want to talk to my single ladies that are just yearning for your husband. I get it. I wanted my husband so bad that I was wondering if that was him. Is that you over there? I don't know you, but you look like you might be able to. Ooh, he's preached a word. He knows the Lord. That might be my husband. Why was I doing that? Okay, let me just expose your thoughts. Maybe you don't want to talk about them. Right? I was being a thought in my thoughts, right? Not outside. Nobody knew I was being a thought, but in my thoughts, they were thoughts. It ain't even me. The thoughts were the thoughts, right? But I just have to be honest. I started to desire it so bad. But in God's word, it says when a man finds his wife, not when a girl finds her husband. Be so hidden in God that your husband has to seek him in order to find you. My husband jumped in my DMs talking about, hey, I love the faith that you have. And I would love to get to know God more. And if you mentor me, right? Maybe he didn't say it in that great of words, but something like that, right? He hit my DMs with that. And I'll be really honest. To me, I didn't see his attractiveness. Like, I wasn't attracted to him. He also had a daughter. And I was like, nah, bruh, God, I told you already, I ain't doing it with the daughter. Like, I don't have kids. I'm not going to marry somebody with kids, right? And I didn't know he was younger. God blessed him with no hairline, right? He didn't have no hairline. And the no hairline made me think that he was older than he was. So, you know, God will work all things together for good, right? He lost his hair when he was like 21. And I tell him all the time, I'm like, baby, that was a blessing, okay? Because you would have never had a chance at me. However, I found he's literally 5 years younger than me. Never have, and said I would date somebody younger. So what is your checklist that you have that is actually keeping you from what God really has for you, right? So for me, God allowed us to have this authentic connection of friendship. And it moved quick. It was like friendship, oh, that's my husband, right? So like we met and we were engaged within 3 months and we were married within 6 months. It's not a just meeting. We had met a year before that, but hanging out, like deciding to actually build a relationship, we moved quick. And the people that are on the outside would look back in that and say that we moved quick. But they don't know the time that I spent by myself. They don't know those nights that I was crying in my bed, asking God to heal the deepest parts of me, getting to know the little girl inside of me, asking God to expose myself to myself, helping me to find validation in him, seeking his will and alignment, saying no to the dudes in my DM. Stop giving attention to randoms. You get to choose how you do your life, but I can tell you one thing. What you do behind those closed doors will show up in the light eventually. For your life, they might not expose you to the public, but they're going to expose you to your situation because you are going to be what you attract. I believe that with everything in my heart. And I also don't believe that I would have what I have if I didn't spend that time getting to know myself, because I don't truly know if God would have ever saw that I was ready to take on somebody like Izzy, because guess what? It's not just about him being my husband. What does marriage really mean? This man has a destiny on his life. This man has a purpose in this world. And I need to be somebody that edifies the greatness down on the inside of him. I can't just be so insecure that I'm asking for attention and not being intentional with what God put me into Izzy's life as his wife for. I need to have the discipline to get on my hands and knees and pray for my husband, because there's a responsibility that I carry over that man's life. There's a special cheating and being secretive and all of this stuff, sis. If you don't take care of your heart and you don't realize why you do the things you do, I'm telling you right now, you will not be able to have everything that's attached to your life, because little white lies, little secretive ways, little hiding the money here, it won't matter. It will matter. How are you going to be transparent and keep it 100 with somebody if you're not doing it with yourself? Now, I'm not here preaching a message saying I'm perfect. I'm still growing. I'm still becoming. This wife thing is real. I'm grateful for my husband, but it is a huge responsibility. And it's hard. I have hard days. I'm a bonus mom, right? I have a 6-year-old daughter. I'm learning how to be a mom. And also that part to play in somebody's life is weird, right? I don't post it on social media for reasons. Like, there is stuff behind it, right? And so I do my best to be a reflection of God, but life is not all peaches and cream. But I can tell you right now that I wouldn't be speaking to you in this way if I didn't live this. If I didn't do the work, if I didn't have the hard nights, if I didn't choose to love myself past my singleness. And I get to pass the mic too, even though I could just go all day on this topic, okay? I sat here in 2 years working on the little girl down on the inside of me, fully accepting, forgiving, understanding myself. Realizing that sometimes your intuition is speaking louder than your insecurity. And so instead of saying, am I being insecure? You're questioning yourself. You get to say, my intuition is telling me to let this go. And until I'm willing to let something go that's not for me, I won't have room for the things that are. And maybe there's work that you need to do. A quote that's so powerful, I was going to post today, that just something to really think about. Like, if God brought you your husband right now, be honest with yourself on if you really feel like you would be ready. I know it's easy to say that you would, but you don't know what that responsibility is going to actually be. Will you be able to hold for yourself so much to the point emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, discipline, taking care of you, that you're able to then pour into the man that God gave you to pour into? Outside of just being his wife and your cuddy buddy and Netflix and chill and let me kiss you and, sex. By the way, sex is a whole new game when you were married, right? You need to make sure. Okay, I could do a whole topic on sex with marriage, but I'm going to say this for real though. What value will you add to your husband's life because of the work that you do today? And if you're married, make sure that you really realize the vow that you took. You chose that man to love him through sickness and in health. And I'll tell you right now, just because your husband may not be doing his end of the bargain doesn't give you permission not to. I made a vow to God to take care of this man. Whether or not he's on his A game, I get to do my very best to be on mine. Despite him, my love is conditional, not conditional. My love is unconditional, not conditional based on what he's doing. And so I have to cut myself off and give this to the next queen. But I just believe in each of you. I'm grateful that you're a part of this. And I pray that this message blessed you. Be a part of Reign because you'll get more of it. There's so much more that I want to give you guys, but I want to respect your time and I want to respect each queen that gets to speak tonight because I know that their testimony is valuable. And so the first queen that I get to introduce is one that absolutely blesses my life. She is somebody who's prayed for me in many of my relationships. And she has been one that has given me confirmation that he wasn't the one. Sometimes we think our friends are hating, but you got to know when somebody comes into your life that's ordained by God to be there for you, to be an intercessor prayer for you. And this woman truly does that. She's a powerful woman of God. I know God has a really, really special man out there for her. And until he comes, Lord, I'm asking you in the name of Jesus to cover her and don't let her be seen by any because she is too precious to waste. So I am grateful for you. I love you. Give it up for Jaleesa.
Thank you. So my name is Jaleesa. I've been a part of Reign for 2.5 years. Before I got my nutrition plan, honestly didn't think I even needed it. I work out. I was already working out. I played sports in high school. played basketball, ran track. So I didn't think that I really needed, but I got on my nutrition plan. I dropped down 10 pounds when I first got on my nutrition plan, and then I gained that 10 pounds back. So just healthy weight is what I gained back. And when I got on my nutrition plan, I didn't think that it was gonna come with everything that you all are listening to now. Like, I didn't think that it was gonna come with the women, the personal development, choosing to love myself, because I thought that I was, but I wasn't. So for 2.5 years, I have been intentionally like really doing the work, like Amanda talked about earlier. And I can tell you that it's not easy, y'all. It's not easy, but it's purpose. So, and within this 2 years, I honestly, my single journey has been, it may seem like it looks easy, but it's not easy for me. It is so hard. And because I know what's on the inside of me, so that's very attractive. I think most men, let's just say most men don't know that it really is God. It's not me. They see me, but I honestly believe that it's just the attraction is God, and what's on my life. But the single season has been hard. It's been beautiful. Honestly, right now in this space, I love this space. I'm in my own place. Before I had a roommate, but now I get to be in my own place. And that's what I really wanted as a single woman. I'm doing things that I want to do right now. I don't want to rush the process. Like Amanda said, like really enjoy being single. Like I want kids, I want marriage, but I'm an auntie of 12 and I love each and every one of them. And those are my babies. So until the Lord blesses me with my husband, I am going to love on these kids forever. But yeah, I just wanted to also just say, like, just take your time, do the work, really, really do the work, because in this space, I found my identity. I know who I am, and I know that I don't have to date a lot of men to find the one. I can tell just discernment. I can tell, no, you're not it. So I'm not even going to give you a chance. But that is my share, ladies. Thank you for letting me share.
Yes, I'm over here like screaming at the computer. Everything you're saying is so on point, Jaleesa. So my name is Jenny. Rain found me 3 years ago when I was in a really dark place. I'd actually just gotten out of a relationship and I was just completely broken. I met Amanda through a complete stranger, which is amazing. And I really had to start working on the self-love first. So I decided, skeptical as hell, but I'm going to try this nutrition plan thing. I'm so glad that I did, because I'm down 24 pounds from a size 16 to a size 9. And with that, ladies, came the stripping off of so much. I was the girl who claimed to never have daddy issues. I came into Rain and I had to admit, you have issues with your father and they're affecting you in certain ways. So with relationships with men, I was seeking love from a man that I hadn't gotten from my father. So I really had to do the work in learning, like, who is Jenny? You know, and then also doing the hard work of forgiving my dad. And I will tell you that that's probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, but it's been the most beautiful thing that I've ever done, because that opened me up to so much more, to see who I am, to find my worthiness in God and not in a man, to see that me being celibate until I get married, yes, I am choosing to stay, you know, a virgin until I get married, to see that that's not an insecurity, because I had that going into relationships, that they weren't going to want me because I wasn't going to give it up. And now because of my sisters, I have like power within that. And I'm like, no, like there's going to be one person who has this piece of me. But it had to be in my single season. Like Jaleesa said, it's not easy. I've been living alone now for 2 years and I freaking love it. But the pandemic has been real. When you're alone all day long, ladies, it's not easy, but this is what I prayed for. I prayed for God to reveal to me the pieces of me that need to die away, the things that aren't of him that need to come forth and just be removed from my life, so I can be 100% in alignment. Because like Amanda said, when I meet my future husband, my goal is to elevate him and to help him walk in his purpose. But if I'm not doing that, then I can't do that either. And I just thank you, Amanda, so much for sharing your single season as well as your married season, because I love being single. I can do what I want, when I want, but I had to find the security in being single, and Amanda sharing her journey has absolutely helped me with that. So something, ladies, just enjoy your singleness if you're in it. It's beautiful, it's great, it's messy, but it's worth it in the end.
So good, Jenny. I love being single too. Just shameless plug. Hi, ladies. My name is Raquel, and I've actually have a very different story. I've always been a sucker for love, so let me just start with that. I've come from a single mother household. So I didn't have my dad in my life. I wasn't raised with my dad in my life. So I've always had this need of validation. Therefore, my sucker for love turned into always being in relationships. So I went from long relationships to long relationships. I got married at the age of 21, very young, just believing that was the love of my life. And thankfully, I've had Amanda in my life for a very long time. So she's been there for me for that relationship as much as I've been there for her for many broken relationships that we've both been through. But for me, my real self-love journey started in my second marriage. So I got divorced at 22, and then I got remarried at 25, 26. And that's with my son's father. And it was a really broken marriage because I wasn't whole. I got myself into a relationship with someone I loved, and I called my best friend because I believed that that was the person for me. We had a child, we got married because you do what's right, right? And in my mind, I'm like, I have a second child with another person I'm not married to. So this must be the person for me. I get to settle because I believe that's the best I'm ever going to get. In my broken mindset, I thought, who's going to want a mother of two different children with two different baby daddies? Who? Right? And so it wasn't until I really decided to give myself, just focus on myself and love myself and get to know myself while being in a broken marriage. And I started being a part of RAIN about 3 years ago, which is when I hopped on my nutrition plan. I decided to focus on my fitness, focus on my self-love, get to know me, right? And within that, I was able to lose 52 pounds and just change my life. That physical transformation is great. Who doesn't want to feel better? Who doesn't want to be confident when you take pictures and just shine through these pictures, right? But what I got was so much more. I got to know me. I got to peel layers. I got to heal. In that broken marriage I was in, my husband committed adultery and had a child within that marriage. And I chose to forgive him. That's how much healing and how much growth had to happen for me to say he's human, he committed a mistake, I'm going to take him back. But as you get to work on you and you get to love you, you start to settle less. And so for me, it was like, okay, I forgave him. We're giving this a second chance. But in my mind and in my heart, I know God has better for me. So do I stay here and fix this marriage, or do I walk away and focus on myself? So I chose to walk away, and knowing that God had better for me, knowing that I was settling and that I was worthy of more. So honestly, that's why I say I love my singleness, because I love doing whatever I want to do, being happy, being full of life, moving in, throughout, building businesses, having ideas, having friends over, like all those things that I wasn't focused on before because I was focused on fulfilling somebody else. I was focused on settling in a marriage that just wasn't healthy for me. And at the end, healthy for my children. I wanted to be a better example for my children. So I had to be better. I had to work on me, and I had to become better. So I'm super grateful because this sisterhood did that for me. The girls held for me. I cried. I called Amanda crying so many times. And because, when you're going through those things, you think you're the only person going through that, but you're not. You have a sisterhood, a group of women who are holding for you and supporting you through all of the ups and downs in life. So I'm just super grateful for that, because I don't believe I would have been able to do all of that if I didn't have this group. So thank you so much for listening to my story.
Man, you always make me emotional just listening to you, because you always share for such a vulnerable place. Thank you for that, Raquel. My name is Cass. I've been a part of RAIN for 2 years, but my journey actually started 7 years ago. So I was in a sisterhood with Amanda and started my journey at that time because I was looking for more, looking for identity. When I think back to that time, I don't think I was in a relationship, but that's the funniness about this relationship thing for me, is I'm kind of opposite of everybody else. I can't really say that I I'll get to that in a second. But I was really lost at who I am. I was lost at just, what was going on in life. As you can see, I just got lost in thinking about that year because I'm like, I don't have a memory of it outside of I knew I wanted more in life. So I actually started my nutrition plan at that time. I dropped 20 pounds in my first 2 months. I went down from a size 13 down to a size like 2, switched it up, put some healthy weight on, got my booty back, my thighs back, all the thickness back, loving life, loving who I am. And this sisterhood has helped me with that, because I can say that girl with the ambition going down the lake, I don't know who that person is actually, even though that was a part of my journey, but that was somebody that was trying to find who they were. And throughout my 7 years, I've discovered who I am, and I still have things I'm working on, but I've always been the person that have checklists. So I checked off the bachelor's degree, I checked off the master's degree, I checked off owning a house. But what's funny is I found my checklist I made as a kid. I don't have checked off having kids. I don't have checked off having a husband, because I was so focused on what other people wanted for me that I also focused on that for relationships. And I've learned over time, I actually realized I went on my first date. I am 32 years old, and I went on my first date this year in 2020. I've had several relationships, but they were sexual relationships. My last relationship was 4 years ago, and it was hidden. I had to hide it from everyone. And I wasn't comfortable within that. I literally had a lot of things happen in my life at that time, and it's not because of the relationships, but it was because I wasn't being true to me and true to who I am. So since then, I've been single, and I'm loving it. I've been actually celibate for 15 months now, and I'm really happy. Like, I don't realize how far time has gone past. I don't realize how long I've been single. I don't realize that I haven't had a boyfriend in 4 years. Sometimes I have to slow down and count, but it's because I'm so focused on myself. I'm focused on what I want in my corporate career. I'm focused on building my business. I'm focused on digging deep and making relationships with my friends, my family. We had a call on Monday night. I'm focused on what are the little white lies that you may say that you're having to keep up with? What are the self-work things that you're still having to do? And as Amanda said, if you were asked today, if you're ready for a husband, I don't know if I could say that I am. I'm not ready for kids, and I'm okay with saying that. But I think 2 years ago, I may not have been, right? So with that, the sisterhood has really helped me to really look at myself in the mirror and say, hey, Cass, who are you? What do you want? Do you want more? Let's be real with yourself. Let's grow. Let's stretch. And I have sisters that hold me up and hold me accountable to that. But they also say, hey, girl, you said you wanted to make some money this month, so you need to go and push for some goals. Or, hey, girl, you said you want to get some results this month. So they help me not think about the other stuff. We're not having conversations about what he said or what this guy did. We're having conversations about what you got in your workout bag, girl. You and Candy working out? What y'all got in the bag? That was my conversation last night with Jenny. So it's just so powerful when you have sisters that uphold you and lift you to do more. Thank you for listening to my share.
Hey, Cass, we're shirt twinsies today. Hi, ladies. My name's Calvana. I go by Kels. I was thinking, like, so many thoughts went through my mind as all of you were sharing, because all of them are like a piece of my journey. And I was thinking about how I even started on like a healthy lifestyle. And it was actually like, this is before I had the language. I had no idea. I didn't really know who I was when I first like started my nutrition plan and things like that. But I was just getting out of a relationship, y'all. And I have been trying to lose weight in my relationship, like Weight Watchers, whatever, always something. And then my ex had the nerve to go and like glow up and lose weight without me. So when I saw that, I was like, yo, I'm gonna have to humble myself and ask you what you did. And that's how I ended up meeting Cass, so he told me he was doing Herbalife. And I was like, I don't want you. I realized I'm focused. It's a distraction. I don't want you, but I want that Herbalife thing. So, I mean, honestly, it was a blessing, because look at me now, But on my nutrition plan, I was able to lose 30 pounds and obviously gain a lot of confidence in myself. But so after that, like, honestly, being a part of RAIN, so I did like the health and fitness thing, but it was deeper than that. So it was deeper than just a physical transformation. Like, being a part of RAIN, it happened at the perfect time, honestly, when Amanda was talking about like I was there when she began her singleness journey. So it was interesting to hear that, like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yep, I remember that. I remember when you were in the other room, that type of thing. But then we ended up being roommates. And I was in a relationship at that time with someone else, and that ended And it was just totally aligned for this purpose. One of my friends, we listen to so much personal development and so many trainings. I don't know where I hear things from, but there's something that said, like, you go through the things you go through so that you can help someone else. You know, so like all the different things that the women in Rain have gone through have been to teach someone else. Like, we all needed to go through what we went through to perfectly align to be on a call like this tonight. Sorry, I'm getting emotional, but my singleness journey, I honestly was thinking Rain is kind of like Wakanda a little bit. Like, if some dude, like, dudes don't understand, they'd be like, wait, all y'all single? What you mean? Like, we out here some baddies, you know, personally developing, getting results, working on ourselves. I don't really want to know, me and Jenny were talking about, we don't really want to know your favorite color. Like, we want to know about your childhood traumas, you know, like what generational curses are you breaking? Like, those are conversations that I definitely was not having 4 years ago. And I heard something else that was talking about, like, whoever the person I'm supposed to be connected to is, like, they're going to get the absolute best version of me when that time comes. So I'm just very confident in that. So that's enough about me. I feel like I just went, you know, that was good. But I'm going to tell you about the next steps for you. We're so thankful that you decided to spend your Wednesday evening with us. I just want to share some next steps with you. So if you joined in, whether it's your first time or you've been here every Wednesday since we started doing this, we definitely want you to join our squad. So we want to lock arms with you. Our mission is just to powerfully impact women, to help them elevate, to help them own their crown, to help you walk in your purpose, help you earn additional income. Like, all of the women that talk, like, Rain is part of our side hustle. What a dope side hustle to have, to be able to pour into other women and help them elevate. So if you are into that, reach out to the person that invited you and they can connect you and let you know what your next steps would be. If you have not had your one-on-one Queen Elevation, which is basically just a conversation about, like, your mind, body, and soul goals. If you have some of those, you got a mind, you got a body, you got a soul, if you got some goals, team up with us and we'll help you reach that. And then the third thing, invite other women to this. Like, the conversations are different every week. The topics are different every week. Obviously, you know, we got that pledge and commitment statement because we keep it very real. We're telling you all of our business, you know, the ups and the downs. So other women need this. And some women don't have a supportive community like this. So definitely invite other women in your life, whether they're older, younger, and we would love to have you on our next call. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we'll see you if you're in the Self-Love Challenge.